good, y'all? It's Icon here talking a little Batwoman and Supergirl. A lot of stuff in the pipeline. Got SummerSlam, Survivor Series weekend. Just came off of the NXT videos up. Did the anime convention 2019. That should be coming in the next couple of days. But today we're talking about Supergirl and Batwoman. So let's get started. So Batwoman started with there was this dude, this black dude. Because remember, like in the previous episode, Alice had stole a gun. Well, false face stole a gun. This black dude had it. He was across the street from a restaurant. There was this guy, like there was this scientist guy. He was gonna shoot the guy, from across the building. The crow showed up, cop showed up, Batwoman showed up. Everybody showed up to take this dude down. They ended up, like Batwoman ended up stopping him. The guy didn't die. And then while Batwoman was on the scene, Sophie rolled up on her, and then she was like, "Kate, you gotta tell your dad that you're Batwoman." And then Kate was like, "You got the wrong woman." And she was like, "Stop playing, I'm gonna tell your daddy." And then Kate was like, "Bitch, you better trust me." And then she left. She never actually admitted to being Batwoman, so she's holding on, and so later, but Sophie, she's obviously like, she's struggling with whether or not to tell, the commander, that his daughter's Batwoman. So later on, Batwoman ended up in the parking lot where the same guy who almost got killed in the diner, he was in the parking lot, and then the black dude who tried to shoot him came back in the parking lot. And then Batwoman rolls up in the parking lot, and then Luke tells Kate there's a third heat signature that's in the parking lot. So, this other character shows up, tries to, fight the black dude, because Kate already had taken him down, like he was already tied up. So then she comes out of nowhere, it's a woman, and she's just like, "Don't worry, Batwoman, I'll take it from here." And then she immediately started fighting Batwoman. I'm just like, did you not just ask her? You just said, "I'll take it from here." There was no, Batwoman had her arms down. She was just kind of like, "Who are you?" There was actually no reason to fight. So while these two knuckleheads were sitting here fighting each other, the black dude cut the rope and then he got away. His victim got away as well, so I guess they saved the victim. But then, when the black dude, when the shooter left, the woman took her mask off, and then come to find out, she knows it's Kate. She's like, "Kate Kane," and then the woman, she's actually Alfred's daughter. And I'm just like, didn't know Alfred had a daughter, seeing how he spent his entire life working for Bruce Wayne. So that was pretty interesting. I mean, it would have made more sense if that was like Alfred's niece or something. But her last name's Pennyworth. They said that's his daughter, so okay, fine. She said, and even then, because in the last episode, when Sophie, said like, "Kate, I know you're Batwoman, and I'm gonna tell everybody that you're Batwoman," I thought to myself, I was like, wow, like, how's Kate supposed to get out of this one? Because in Supergirl, when Cat Grant, was about to out-Kara Supergirl, Martian Manhunter, transformed into Supergirl, to throw Cat off the set. So I'm like, there's really nothing they can do, in Batwoman. I'm like, are they going to use a hologram like they did on Black Lightning? And then as soon as Alfred's daughter showed up, and you saw, because there was a reason why they had both of them fight, because the fight was completely pointless. But they showed the two of them fighting for a reason. And when the two of them were fighting, and then she even said, she was like, "Oh, that right hook or that hammer punch or whatever, like I taught you that, Kate." So I was like, oh, so Alfred's daughter works for like MI6 or whatever. She's a trained operative, and she's a really good fighter. Ah, that's how they're gonna throw Sophie off the set. So later on, Sophie was based like her husband Tyler. He asked Sophie. He was just like, "Hey, did you get to talk? Do you know who Batwoman is?" He was like, "No." And then he was just like, "Well, what did Batwoman say?" And she was like, "I didn't get to talk to him. I didn't get to talk to her." And then he showed her footage of her talking to Batwoman. So he's like, "Bitch, you lying." And he's like, "Why are you lying?" And then she's like, "Don't worry, honey. I'll tell you everything." And then she was looking for Kate's dad, but they said that Kate's dad was like out of state because he was supposed to be signing the divorce papers, for his, obviously for his marriage. The mom and Mary, they were in the car together, and then the woman had got word that somebody was stealing some stuff from the company, like people were getting outed, so she was freaking out over that. So but Sophie basically, like, she was lying to her to her husband about the whole situation, and then Kate asked, because Kate was struggling with Luke. She was just like, "Look, like, she knows I'm Batwoman, what am I supposed to do?" And then Luke was just like, "Yo, if you trust her, just tell her the truth." So she met up at a diner. It was actually the same diner, I believe, that she saved the the science guy from the beginning of the episode. They went back to the diner because the guy did say, he was like, you know, Batwoman saved me, my restaurant, and you know, and all of my customers. So Batwoman's welcome here anytime for a free meal. So then Kate shows up, you know, to meet Sophie, and then while her and Sophie are talking, the owner basically was trying to get them to leave because he realized that Kate was lesbian and he didn't want her in the restaurant because she was gay. And I was like, really, dude? And then, you know, Kate basically like called him out on it in front of everybody, and then she got mad and then she left. And then Sophie was just like, oh, that was unnecessary. That she was like, first of all, this is who I am, and it's not right that, you know, it was not right that he did that. And then the two of them got to this argument over their past because when they were in the academy together, and Sophie, you know, her and Sophie got busted, you know, for making out. Sophie had actually agreed that she was going to, you know, tell the truth about their relationship, and then Commander Kane stepped in at the last second, and he told Sophie, he's like, yo, don't do that shit. And he talked Sophie into it because he was like, Kate's already made up her mind. Kate's not going to listen, but he was like, you can listen. So he was like, yo, don't do it. And then she changed her mind. She ended up, you know, she told Kate, she was like, listen, she was like, the fact that I changed my mind and I actually decided to lie. She's like, I graduated, I got a good job, you know, like I was able to take care of my family, like I was able to make money. And then Kate was like, yeah, but unfortunately that cost you me, you know, and then she left. Alice was talking to the black dude because she was the one who gave the black dude the gun, and Alice was the one that gave him the targets because there were 3 targets that she had him kill. And the reason why Alice had her, you know, had them do that was because, you know, she told the black dude because like the black guy, he was testing the gun for his boss because he was gonna buy it. So Alice let him test it, and then, you know, the 3 people that Alice told him to target were the 3 people responsible for building that gun. So Alice basically killed everybody that knows anything about that gun. So she was just like, so your boss should be happy because now nobody can either stop you or nobody can build another gun to rival you. But then she, you know, she ended up, you know, she basically pulled a swerve though, because like towards the end, you know, because they had to come up with a way. Because like the whole crew, because now like Alfred's niece, like, you know, she's fighting with them, like they're on the case together, they decide to work together, you know, which is kind of cool to see Kate have like I don't want to say a sidekick, but like a partner out in the field besides just Luke. So, you know, but they knew that Sophie was on the trail as far as like outing her as Batwoman. So they ended up putting Alfred's daughter in the Bat costume, and then, you know, they had her talk to Sophie, and then when she was talking to Sophie, Kate came in through the back door, and then Sophie was like, oh snap, there's Kate and there's Batwoman, now I feel like a dumbass. And then the black dude ended up shooting Mrs. Pennyworth while she was wearing the Bat costume out of the window. The bad guys, they scooped her up, they put her in the back of the truck. Well, the cops actually, it was the Crows. The Crows scooped up Batwoman, put her in the back of the truck. Kate went after her on a motorcycle, and she basically like shot the truck. You know, the truck hit the floor, and then when the truck hit the floor, like she saved Pennyworth, and then Kate and Pennyworth bounced. So now Sophie felt stupid. She had to apologize to everybody. She ended up telling her husband, you know, that her and Kate had a lesbian relationship growing up. So now he knows that. And then Sophie actually, she basically admitted, like, she was like how she still has feelings for Kate. She still loves Kate. She told Kate, because at the end of the episode, Kate had this new real estate buy that she had. She bought the restaurant across the street from the restaurant that was hating against lesbians. So she was gonna basically start a lesbian bar across the street from the person who hates lesbians. So Sophie comes in, and then she's just like, listen, you know, like, I still have feelings for you, blah blah blah. And then Kate's like, yeah, I think we should just keep our space or whatever. Sophie felt stupid, and then she was just like, well, since Kate said no, let me go back now and pretend like I'm in love with my husband. And then, you know, she told her husband, she was like, you know, you're the only one for me, babe. And then she apologized for lying, you know, like, and all this other stuff, because he was just like, Tyler was like, do I gotta worry about Kate? And she was like, no, those days are over. And I was like, you so like like, I like Sophie and all, but like the last couple of weeks, like she's not doing it. So then, come to find out this whole time, because the commander, you know, the commander was there. You know, the commander, you know, he ended up like, you know, talking to the wife. You know, he was talking to Kate. He was talking to Sophie about the whole situation. And then we find out at the end of the episode that the commander was still upstate, and Falseface was actually the person pretending to be the commander this whole time. So he knows things, like he knows information from people. He has clout. He has the juice, and he's infiltrated the Crows. So what he will do with that information, time will tell. Pennyworth's daughter basically left because she was just like, because what happened was, like, so in the end we find out, because the gun, the whole thing with the gun was, it was supposed to be the only weapon that could penetrate the bat suit and kill Batman. So the black dude wanted the gun for his boss so they could kill Batman. When they tried to kill her, it didn't work. Like the suit, like it didn't, like it hurt her, but she didn't die. And then the black guy was just like, yo, this is some bullshit. All right, you betrayed my boss. She ain't gonna like that. You better know what you're doing. And Alice got mad, smacked the taste out of his mouth, and she was like, don't ever say your boss's name to me. So I wonder who this person is. Alice sabotaged the gun because the whole purpose, Alice is secretly protecting Kate. Alice's whole purpose was, let me kill the 3 people that built a gun that could kill my sister, and then now let me sabotage the guy who's going to try to use the gun on my sister, and then kill the dude who's trying to kill my sister, in an effort to protect Kate. And the episode basically ended with Alice, going crazy, talking to Falseface, banging how we're going to bring Kate into the fold. I got to protect my sister, and like all this bad stuff. But Alfred's niece ended up leaving. She told Luke at one point that her and Kate had like a physical relationship, where Bruce basically told her, like, keep an eye on my favorite cousin. So she ended up like sleeping with her. But she was like, she's like, I did like you, Kate, but she was just like, I just lied about why I was in the neighborhood where I found you. So, but she'll be back. And if she comes back as a recurring character, like I said, I'm perfectly fine with that, because Kate's out there like rolling dolo, and since we're gonna pretend that Barbara Gordon doesn't exist, we're gonna pretend that Tim Drake doesn't exist. At some point, she needs somebody to help her. So, like I said, I like the new Pennyworth character, and can't wait to see her back. So for this episode of Supergirl, it starts off with Supergirl and Jean. They're in the training room. Both of them have a lot of things on their mind. Kara's worried about Leviathan, and what they're gonna do. Jean's whole thing is like, he feels bad about the whole thing with his brother and putting him in the Phantom Zone. But he oddly, he feels his brother's presence because his brother's still around, and because Lena used his Q waves to create, those controlling contact lenses. Every time Lena uses those things, like, Jean feels it, so he feels his brother's presence. Like I said, he's a little shooken up over it, but in the end, he's just like, all right, well, it's for the greater good, so blah blah blah. Leviathan, we go to Lena's house. Leviathan actually rolls up, like the old woman, that old chick from Leviathan. She actually rolls up on Lena. Lena has a security thing up to stop. And I'm like, how do you stop Leviathan? I don't understand how her security thing was that good to stop Leviathan, because they've been showing up literally everywhere. They be creeping in the shadows. But she's Lena Luthor, so she found a way. And then she was talking to Eve, to Brainiac Eve, and she was like, I'm gonna do like this press conference or whatever, and then she's like, no, you shouldn't do it because Leviathan's coming to get you. And then she's like, don't worry, Supergirl will save me because I've got that bitch wrapped around my pinky. And then lo and behold, Lena does the press conference, Leviathan tries to kill her, Supergirl shows up, and and she saves her. Now, the old Leviathan woman, she went back to Leviathan headquarters. There's another young woman there, like some blonde, and then there's this old bald dude. Apparently, this bald dude, he's been around for years. Leviathan's been around for years. They're aliens. They're aliens from another planet. They came to Earth, and this bald, Leviathan, they've basically been in control of things throughout history. Brainy said they cause earthquakes, avalanches. They're responsible for Noah's Ark. He was like, a lot of the stuff that happened throughout Earth's history can be traced back to Leviathan and these mystical beings. So they're all trying to figure out how can we take down these mystical beings. So Lena's just like, well, if we go to, if we have a weapon, we can destroy them, but no such weapons exist. And then Kara's dumbass, she's like, oh, we can go to the Fortress of Solitude. There's plenty of weapons there that can kill aliens. And she's like, ha ha ha. So Lena tricks Kara into bringing her to the Fortress of Solitude. The fortress tries to kill Lena on sight because of the Luthor blood. Kara basically took down all protocol. And then here's where it would have been fishy for me, because throughout their entire experience inside the Fortress of Solitude, Lena was basically throwing their entire history in Kara's face. She's like, oh, remember the time when I stupidly thought that I was gonna save you from a crashing airplane, but oh, lo and behold, you can fly, like, and you're invincible. And, Kara felt bad. She was just like, look, I'm sorry, that I lied to you. She kept apologizing. And then she's like, no, don't worry about it, because we're best friends. And, so, meanwhile, Lena used the Superman computer. She hacked in the Superman computer. She basically got the whole Fortress of Solitude and all the computers and everything to follow her. And then the Leviathan person, and then also they found the old, the device that Ann Astra used in season 1 to try to mind control everybody. And she told Lena, she was like, oh, that device mind controls people. And Lena's like, haha, that's just what I need. Because Lena's whole thing is she's trying to control, but not so much control people, but she's trying to stop people from hurting each other. So she's basically trying to control people, and that device is going to help her control people. So the bald Leviathan dude, because for some reason he's in tune with the entire planet and he can see all over the world, there was a point where he was like, yo, I can't find Lena Luthor or Supergirl. And then he was like, oh, because they're in the one place on Earth where I can't see them. Because the Fortress of Solitude is basically Krypton. It has Krypton's atmosphere, everything inside of it is Krypton. So it's basically a little small piece of Krypton on Earth. And because it's not Earth made, that's the one place where he can't see into. But he knows that the fortress exists. So he goes to the fortress, he busts in through the bottom. Him and Supergirl get into it or whatever. Her and Lena end up stopping him because Supergirl figured out that he can't beat her, because they're on Krypton soil, which gives her the home court advantage. After that, Lena basically, used she basically told the Fortress to lock up Supergirl. She put Supergirl in a cage, and then she told her, she was like, you betrayed me. I told you not to betray me, and you betrayed me. And then she's like, I'm sorry, Lena. She's all crying and shit. And then Lena's like, no, you're going to be sorry. And then Lena got the nerve. She done sabotaged the Fortress of Solitude. She done stole mind control weapons. She done stole guns and all this. She done got Supergirl locked up in a cage. No, Supergirl got to help people. You got Supergirl locked up in a cage, and Lena gonna be like, I'm not a villain. Whatever, bitch. Yeah, nah, you ain't a villain. Yeah, that was funny. That was fun. Then she opens a portal, and then she dips. Jean, he called on his dad, because he was just like, Father, help me. He apologized to his dad for wiping his memory, and he's like, no, son, it is I who should apologize, and your brother, and you can apologize to your brother when you see him. And he's like, but Father, he's in the Phantom Zone. He's like, no. He's like, fool, your brother upstairs, locked up in Lena's house. And then, when he told him, he was just like, listen, you can save him, but in order for you to save him, you have to remove the mental barriers that prevent him from killing you, which means once you remove those barriers, you make your pitch to try to save him, and if it doesn't work, he could kill you. But it's the risk you're gonna have to take. You can either save your brother, or you can put him back in the Phantom Zone. So Jean goes up to him. He lets down the barrier. He tells his brother, he's like, I apologize, brother, for what I did, and if you want to retract your vengeance, he's like, here I am. And his brother's like, no, get up, we're family. And they hug each other, and everyone's crying, and it's all beautiful. Alex and Brainy, they went to go investigate because they found Rip Roar's body, and there was a bomb attached to it, and both of them almost got him, almost exploded. Alex ended up with a concussion. Brainy's thing was damaged. Brainy's thing was damaged, and then because Brainy's brain was damaged or whatever, he went back to old Brainy mode, where he was just like, everything is precise, and I know what I'm doing, and I'm all stiff and cold, and I know where I'm all focused, and I know where Leviathan is. And then he found Leviathan. Alex, because she had the concussion, she was at the DEO in the medical center. Kelly showed up, Kelly showed up crying, and she was like, I knew you were gonna die. And she's like, babe, I'm not gonna die. She's like, you're gonna die. And then Kelly was like, yo, I can't do this, we gotta break up. And then right when Brainy was like, yo, we gotta investigate Leviathan. So Alex was like, I'll be back. So she goes with Brainy. They find Leviathan headquarters. They go downstairs. The blonde chick is downstairs. She's just like, oh, my security sucks. But Alex was like, yo, I got a bad feeling about this. And plus Kelly freaking out is making me take extra precautions. So she's like, yo, we should leave. And the two of them basically they bounce. Later on, So Brainy, he's in full like Brainiac mode now. So because they didn't fix him before the episode was over. Alex was talking to to Kelly, and they kind of like they patched things up because she was just like, yo, I ain't going no. She's like, yo, your fine ass ain't going nowhere, Kelly. So you better stop playing these games. So so Alex and Kelly are good for now. John and his brother made up. Brainy's good. Leviathan's good, and Lena's good. And the episode ends with Kara crying in a cage. So that was pretty funny. Predictions. I have no idea what's happening right now. Because between Leviathan and like Lena Luthor, and then like the Spanish girl. I can't remember her name. Not Marisol. The Spanish girl. From last week, her former best friend. Like, I don't know what's going on right now with Supergirl. There's a lot of stuff going on with Supergirl. But no, but I like it because like now that Malika Ak, because like for all we know, Malika Ak's lying and he's actually planning on setting up Jean at some point. So will Malika Ak stay good? Will Lena stay bad? Well, Lena thinks she's good, but will Lena turn fully bad? Is Leviathan really bad or is Leviathan good? Like, will James ever come back? Like, what's up with Wynn? Where's the 100th episode? Is Kelly gonna break up with with Alex? A lot of good stuff. What happened to Dreamer? There was no Dreamer. A lot of good stuff there's a lot of good stuff with Supergirl. So I'm actually enjoying. I mean, nothing I don't think will ever top last season with Agent Liberty, but I'm loving this season so far and how it's turning out. So that was my reviews for Batwoman and Supergirl, the dynamic duets. Leave a comment, like, and or subscribe on my channel. You can find me at Instagram at Red Eyes Blackfire, Twitter at Red Eyes Media. I got Survivor Series coming up. I got again the Anime 2019 convention coming up. I got Black Lightning. I got Arrow. I got Flash. Where's Legends of Tomorrow? Titans ends next week, so that'll free up some time. Well, Titans ends as soon as Legends starts, so I have some time when that comes in, so I can keep it going. We can keep it going. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. Until next time, as always, I'm out this bitch.